Hello people of YouTube, Rich from PCGamesN here, and I'm joined by Murray and by Ali.
Hello.
And today we're talking to you about The Witcher. More specifically, we're talking about a demand made of the Witcher developers CD Projekt Red by the author of the original books. So this story sort of emerged overnight. We've seen statements on the website for the Warsaw Stock Exchange and on CD Projekt Red's website, which indicate that CDPR have received a letter of demand from lawyers representing Andrzej Sapkowski, the author of the original Witcher novels. Just lay out exactly for us, Ali, what Sapkowski's team are demanding.
So they are asking for 6% of the total profits of the Witcher series, which they estimate to be somewhere in the region of 1 billion Polish zloty.
Mm-hmm.
That's based on figures put out by CD Projekt Red at the end of 2017. Mm-hmm. 1 billion Polish zloty comes to somewhere in the region of $270 million US. 6% of that comes to about 60 million Polish zloty, or 16 million, 1.16 million US dollars. So
Yep.
they're asking straight up for 16 million in royalties, basically.
Yes, and so I mean, you may know if you follow the story that Andrzej Sapkowski initially sold the license to the Witcher IP to CD Projekt Red back before they started developing The Witcher 1, and he was skeptical that it would make them any money at all. Mm-hmm. He didn't really believe in video games, so when they actually offered him a percentage of a royalty deal, he turned it down for a higher flat fee.
Yeah.
And it's on that basis that CDPR have said that these claims are not legitimate and that they've discharged all their legal obligations. But their basis for this, Sapkowski's lawyer's basis for this, is based on Article 44 of Polish copyright law, which stipulates that in the case where there is a massive or gross discrepancy between the remuneration given to an author and the benefits derived by the licensee from the author's license, it may be a court may decide to award, or the author rather can apply to a court to award additional compensation. And Sapkowski's lawyers say that that's happened in the case of The Witcher. I think it's probably quite hard to argue against that. Like, The Witcher has been outrageously successful, especially since the Witcher 3, and it's made CDPR a lot of money. Sapkowski has spoken to Eurogamer saying, "I didn't predict this success. Who could have?" So it looks like he's sort of retroactively seeking some additional compensation for that, and he might be entitled to that in Polish law. It's not as in sort of Western or US law, where an agreement once signed and sealed is inviolable or unalterable. So that's their claim for it. What's been CDPR's response?
They've basically said, as you pointed out, that they are not planning, it would seem, to pay out to Sapkowski on the basis that he has, he has received the money from them. Into that Eurogamer interview that you mentioned, he says he took away a big bag of money. He didn't expect the games to make a lot. For a long time, they didn't. They were hardly runaway financial behemoths.
They were successful enough to
warrant sequels.
To warrant sequels, yeah.
As you say, The Witcher 3 was a whole nother step up from that.
Absolutely.
So they claim that they're not paying out.
Yeah, but there's another element, isn't there, to the letter from Sapkowski's lawyers, which will run us through this next bit.
So essentially, they suggest that not only may CD Projekt Red never have legally acquired rights to the IP, but that if they did, then they only acquired rights to the IP for one game.
That's the key phrase, isn't it? We should be careful about our language, isn't it? They say if they did, and just that they don't sort of outright come and cast aspersions about or cast doubts about the legality of CDPR's acquisition of the license for one game, but they sort of roundabout do it by saying if they did, it only applied to one game.
Obviously, that would have been 2007's The Witcher 1.
Yep.
And would not have applied to The Witcher 2, which came out in 2011, or to The Witcher 3, which came out in 2015.
Or The Witcher 3's expansions.
Or The Witcher 3's expansions. And the wording they use in their letter is that these expansions and these further games would all have been unlawful.
Yeah.
It would have been an unlawful use of this IP.
Which is obviously pretty strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially given how much money it has gone on to make.
Yeah, but the CDPR have flatly come out and sort of contradicted that. They've said that they acquired the license legally and for several for multiple games in the franchise or the series. So that's what they said. Like, without knowing the details of that initial agreement, you know, it wouldn't be for us. We can't know whether or not, you know, which parties are telling the truth. That'll be up for a lawyer to decide anyway. It'll be, but what we know is that Sapkowski has made this demand. There may be a basis for it in Polish law. Now that CDPR have said we've discharged all of our obligations, it'll probably be for a court to decide.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and that's about all we know so far. Let us know what you think in the comments. It might well be that, you know, Sapkowski has a case here, but is it just a case of sour grapes and, like, you know, you should have got the royalty deal when you were offered it? Let us know what you think. Give us a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more PC gaming news and other content on our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Take care.